On a train from Glasgow down to Carlisle, just passing Tinto Hill in Lanarkshire. Look at the snow. Carlisle Citadel Station. There in the distance you can see a little diesel train heading off down the Settle in Carlisle. And this is one of my favourite stations because they change here quite a lot. And a while ago they cleaned and reglazed the station roof. Hey, I wonder where that little train is going. The station has a number of options for coffees. I like this little wagon here. There's also a chain, of course, but the announcements at this station are a little bit overwhelming. Let's see if we can do this between announcements. I do love that, it's really good. But I think we can go into town because there's a nice little cafe in town which is only a few minutes walk from the station. Let's see. Gateway to Scotland, very big gates. They would keep anybody out, I think. The English, the Scots, whoever else. There's a Jehovah's Witness waiting to pounce. Corner of Bank Street and English Street. We are in England and it's called English Street. That's funny, isn't it? Maybe it's the road to England. There you are, there's the sign in case you don't believe me, English Street. And that is a close-up of John Watt, which is a very interesting cafe. That's good, I've just chained my bike to that tree. I'm getting myself organised to go into John Watt for a coffee. And I want to see what cakes they had. Did you see her duck under the camera? People are very polite in Carlisle, although one or two people have been staring at me because I'm taking pictures. But I've been going to this cafe for a few years and I really like it. I'm not going to sit outside, I can tell you, because my hands are about to drop off with icicles. And that's today's special, the blueberry muffin cake. And you'll notice the little wooden spoon with the number 30 on it. And that's my table number, so when I go and pay, I have to give her the spoon and she gives me my bill. So how long have you been here, Carol?
We've been here 4.5 years now. We took over 4.5 years ago.
I seem to remember you told me once you used to work for the NHS, is that right?
That's right, yes I did. I spent 15 years working for the NHS in Cumbria.
And which do you prefer?
Working for myself, definitely.
Okay, a lot of people that run cafes say that. It's I like the concept of people taking the plunge into self-employment.
Yes, definitely. I mean, we don't just run Bank Street Cafe here now. We've expanded and we now have 6 outlets, including this one. So, which was always our plan. We were going for 7 in 5 years. We've made 6 in 5 years, and we're just consolidating this year.
So Carol, can you tell me, do you still roast the coffee downstairs like I remember from a few years ago?
No, we don't, unfortunately. The roaster was actually condemned. The gas board came to change the meter and it had a lead pipe in it, so the gas board wouldn't change it because they won't work with lead at all now. So we had to then look for another premises and put a roaster in a larger premises.
So it was a kind of health and safety issue then?
It was, yes, and we couldn't put a roaster in the space that it was in, you know, if we'd have looked for an electric roaster.
And there's the coffee roasting plant, which is at another branch of John Watt. I think slightly less iconic than the one on Bank Street. I think that's a fair comment. But nonetheless, it's interesting to see the company expanding nicely. Well, there's my bike again, and there's a free plug for a local musician, Liam Mulpetrie, I think he's called, doing House of Fraser some business. And you can see from people's hoods up that the weather is not particularly warm today. He says there's nobody behind him, so there we go. This little lane goes through to the cathedral, and there's a cafe there called Bruce and Luke's, which sounds quite interesting as well. It's nice to see a town like Carlisle with independent cafes flourishing. There are some chains here, but I'm not going to mention them because you know all their names. And let's turn around and see the other way. Whoops. Do you say Primark or Primark? Is it Primark or Primark? Guy says it's Primark. Nature Watch, 28th of February, and the crocuses are out in Carlisle. There you are, if you don't believe me, there's a close-up. of some crocuses. And the church, by the way, is St Cuthbert's. It's not the cathedral. I said in an earlier clip it was the cathedral. What a twat I am, because it's obviously not big enough to be a cathedral. Hopefully we'll see the cathedral when we go around the bend, like me. Well, there's the cathedral, but I'm not sure if that gateway goes through. Let's push the bike through and see what happens. No cycling. Whoops-a-daisy, what's that? Well, I'm not cycling. And there we are, a nice picture of Carlisle Cathedral. Let's go a bit closer to get that red car out of the picture. There we are, a nice shot of Carlisle Cathedral. And my hands are getting even colder, and the departure time of my train is getting closer, and I have a cycle reservation, so I have to catch that one, otherwise I might be stuck. British Heart Foundation, Carlisle. It's amazing what turns up in charity shops, and I don't just mean the book. Look at that, a nice Singer machine. And it's now coming on to rain, so I'm going to head off back to the station. My train to Lancaster goes fairly soon, and because I've got the bike I have to organise with the train crew to let me on the train. So that was a nice little hour in Carlisle, I think. I do love Carlisle. Avanti West Coast coming into Carlisle. Formerly Virgin Trains, shouldn't mention those, Avanti. Little anecdote for you. In the days when there was a sleeping car train from London to Carlisle, you could actually nip into the hotel here for breakfast. They had an arrangement with British Railways to give breakfast to sleeping car passengers. It's raining now. You might be able to hear the noise of the rain on the station roof. I wonder what it's like when it hails. I'm taking this shot to show the ramp, a very civilised station footbridge with a ramp, handy for wheelchairs, bicycles, pushchairs, anybody who doesn't like stairs. The ramp. And there's another option on the station if you happen to like real ale. Another area with problems of drink on the trains. Anyway, my train's arriving now, so I must rush. Sometimes it's all right not to be all right. A message there from Samaritans. On an Avanti Pendolino. I keep wanting to call it a Virgin, but I'm a bit behind the times there. Strange experience in the toilet. No matter where I stood, my body activated the hot air hand dryer. So I don't know what that's all about.